Hello, beautiful people of the internet. So I decided as a tarot reader last night, just out of the blue with my son, to watch, ta-da, the movie Tarot. I wanted to see how accurate they would be at giving, I don't know, how accurate they would be with the tarot readings, the tarot cards, the tarot meanings. Because in my estimation, anytime I've seen shows or movies and they pull out tarot cards, they do the worst readings ever. They use the cards quite literally. When there's the hangman, they hang somebody by the neck. When there's a death card, they're killing people. And I thought to myself, there is so much more to these cards than what they're showing. And they use them as a prop to, you know, scare the crap out of me. I want to see if they put more into this. I wasn't really expecting a lot. And I'm going to get into that. So I'm going to let you know what basically, if you haven't heard of this movie, it's on Crave. And I know I'm late to the party. I'm late to the game. I think it was like 4 months ago that it came out. But I wanted to look at, actually initially when I first saw it, I went, oh, good grief, I'm not watching this. But then I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great if I watched it and gave my opinion? And I'm going to tell you this right away. This is my opinion as one human being on the planet, okay? So you can agree or disagree, whether you're a tarot reader, whether you're just, you know, Joe Schmo, whether you're just, you know, somebody with a PhD. I don't really care. You have your opinion and you are allowed to it. I am doing a review coming from where I'm sitting, okay? And what I do with, I guess you want to call it my practice, I don't know, my service, okay? Because I feel that I try to help people empower themselves. So this is from my point of view. And so you know, you can disagree with me in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on it. Please just don't be disrespectful. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so there you go. This is friends unwittingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within a cursed deck of tarot cards. One by one, they come face to face with fate, racing against death to escape the future foretold in their readings. Okay, so right away, I'm going to tell you, right away, I understand that this movie is all about horror, okay? My first horror movie was Halloween in 1979 when I saw it, okay? The first Halloween, not 2.0, not, you know, Halloween 35, the very first one, where the anticipation of somebody just staring at you from bushes was the scariest crap I had ever seen in my life, okay? This is most definitely a horror movie, okay? So that puts it in context right away. And by doing that right away, you know that tarot is not all about that. Of course not. Not in the practices that I do. I don't really focus on the negative. I don't focus on telling any people their futures, or I don't predict stuff. So right away in that genre, I can't really associate myself to this in any way, shape, or form. Now, having said that, having read the synopsis, and that's why at the beginning I went, I'm not watching this because this doesn't represent divination or tarot for me, I decided I would watch it. Because I am a horror movie fan. Now, I know that some people are not, but I've always been a person to face my deepest fears, and horror movies are not scary. They're actually very entertaining. And this movie, I have to tell you, many times I found myself laughing out loud. Now, as I've heard people mention, I'm going to start off just telling you, by the way, there might be spoilers alerts, but like I said, this movie has been 4 months out. It's on Crave. You can watch it. So, and I don't think I'm revealing any masterpiece here. I'm sorry. It's not to be mean or anything, but it's really not. I've watched some horror movies that have, you know, The Changeling, if you've ever seen this one with George C. Scott, this is a masterpiece to me. This like really, it gives me tingles, this movie. Okay, so if you are a horror person, this is one of my favorite horror movies. It is so amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get past that because right now I'm going, oh my God, that was so well done. But it's an older movie, very old movie. Yes, a very old movie, but a beautiful movie. If you're easily scared, I wouldn't watch it because you might have nightmares. But it's such a wonderful movie. Okay. Moving on. We're talking about tarot. Not exactly The Changeling. It is about a group of friends who run out of booze, look for booze, find a tarot deck in a room they're not supposed to go into in a mansion that they rented for the weekend right away. It's like a bunch of, it's not teenagers, they're college students or something. They're young. I'm just saying they're young. And this one chick is like into tarot. And I'm going to say this right off the bat. I was actually impressed by her knowledge of astrology and tarot. Somebody did their work, either that or they Googled it and they got some information and they put it into the script, okay? Because it was the best that I've seen, I think, in anything that I've watched for tarot. Even to the point where they said the death card means endings or beginnings, but in this case it can just mean death. Like it's, in other words, so they actually went one step above and beyond the card's meanings. The other thing that I will say for this movie is I was impressed by their definitions of the major arcana. And I'm going to explain why in a little bit, why I was impressed with the major arcana, because I think that for the most part they were accurate. And you're going by my opinion because I have my own interpretation, and I think that they were pretty not bad. They weren't bad. High Priestess, a little bit, I like what they said about the death card. I was kind of listening and not blown away by their definitions of things, but I was okay with it, okay? So this girl, she starts doing readings for all her friends. She does the 12 card spread with the outcome card in the middle, and the 12 cards being in all the different houses, okay? So it's astrology and tarot together, which is, done. It's awesome. I might actually try that. I thought it was cool. I've never done that spread, but I think I might try it. But she goes into specifics, and this is the part that kind of, I think she starts saying stuff like literal stuff. I say a group of friends find a tarot deck that they take literal sense of the reading predictions. And then the example is like, I think for the first one, she says something, climbing the ladder and can suffer a fall and a crushing blow. To which, here's the spoiler, that girl who got the reading later on ends up having one of the High Priestess, her card, come to life in a very grotesque manner and drops one of a ceiling ladder from, when you go in the attic of somewhere, one of those ceiling ladders keeps like hitting her, crushing her in the head. And it's quite literal, okay? So, I don't mean to be laughing, it's just that I'm a horror fan, so it's kind of just like, alrighty then, like, we're going to take the literal words and we're going to have literal things happen. It gave me that genie sense, you're going to be careful what you wish for because you're going to literally get what you wish for. And then also someone about, I think, was it the second? Yeah, the second character, something about getting on the wrong track, and he ends up getting smushed by a train, okay? Getting off track or the wrong track or something. And quite literally, he was near tracks with a train, got, all that. So you're getting the gist of this. All these readings, anything that she says, the literal meaning comes in, and it's used in a very scary way to get rid of the characters. Now, that in itself doesn't really bother me because that's entertainment, and they're using, you know, the literal meanings. What really bothered me was that, well, not bothered me, but I mean, which was a little weird, like, if I was part of this group and this weird crap was happening and I knew that it was literal meanings, when you finally find out, as they do, I think for the third character, that it's saying, and the third character, I took offense, she was a Pisces, and it says, she actually said in the reading, if you run, it's going to cause you problems, don't run, and then she runs. And they know that it's the literal meaning of the readings. Like, why would you do the exact opposite? The same with the next one who's supposed to be on the list. They said they said something like, don't be rash, and then he walks away. And she even tells him, your reading said don't be rash, don't be stubborn, and here you are walking away. And that person walks away. And I'm thinking, yeah, all right, this is kind of a weird movie. Just don't go into the house. I'm going to go into the house. But who said horror movies were supposed to be smart, right? Most of the time, I'm yelling at the TV when somebody goes, there's a ghost in the house, leave the house. They don't leave the house. I'm yelling, leave the house. But it's meant to be entertainment, okay? So, I did say that they did do a really good job about talking about divination, but I'm going to swing back to the fact that I said with the major arcana, somewhat. Some of them I thought it was kind of, you know, but I'll give her this because I didn't see, most of the time, the 12 cards of the spread. She was talking about the 12 cards on the different houses, and the outcome was just that one major arcana that they showed. And of course it was for effect. So I don't know what kind of reading she was doing. I couldn't base it on the cards around because I couldn't see them. I'm sure that's movie magic to make sure that it's going in with what is happening. Let's see here. There's twice that I see cards. I saw the Two of Pentacles, and it took a long time for me to kind of pinpoint it in the movie. It's at one point when they're going back in time to tell us how these cards became cursed. And they show the Two of Pentacles, but I didn't know what it was. And it actually looks like two hands in a shackle. And I thought to myself, that is a little strange. Later on, I actually saw the card in the credits. That's how I found out that it was the Two of Pentacles. And I don't know if pentacles or shackles, somebody got them, it sounds similar. They also showed somebody who's a shaman lady or whatever who's trying to help them remove the curse, come in and try to, and she ends up, I don't know, she ends up for some reason getting the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is let's see if I can find it here. I'm gonna show you because I feel it just, yeah, the Four of Swords also was shown. And it also showed, I saw that in the credits in the back. Yeah, the Six of Swords and the Four of Swords both kind of showed up as, let me see, not the same because they had them in the back. And if you look at this, yeah, like that. It showed up like this card. Both these cards showed up like this card, the Ten of Swords. So it's basically somebody lying with four swords in the back, and the other one lying down with six swords in the back. She got killed, and it was the Six of Swords. And I thought, okay, this is where somebody didn't do or continue their education in tarot. They looked at the major arcana, and they completely dismissed the minor arcana. And as all the minor arcanas were coming out, it became truly apparent that none of them were really, it was done for entertainment. It wasn't done for accuracy, okay? So this is my take on this. This movie wasn't done for accuracy. They take the very worst of tarot predictions and literal meanings that these predictions brought in to turn them into a very negative and evil thing to create this horror story. So having said all of that, you guys, I'm going to give this movie out of 10. You know, if it had been a truly great masterpiece, I could have forgiven. I'm going to say this because even as a tarot reader, I know the appeal of entertainment. Okay, it can be amusing, it can be fun, it leaves you like all in, woo, like I said, tingly. But in this case, I feel that this movie just missed the mark on so many things. It came so close to representing tarot and that's not saying much, okay? Because like I said, usually I would give 0 on 10 for people who use tarot cards in any TV shows or movies, because they're really usually right off the mark. They use them quite literally in the worst sense possible. In this case, I'll give them like a 3, maybe, not even, 2.5, okay? Because of the beginning part where they really delve into astrology, tarot, and all of that. They do lean very hard on destiny and faith, which is it's another topic. In other words, you can't escape your fate. So in this case, for the horror movie, it has a very what's that, Final Destination vibe, okay? And I've heard people compare it to Final Destination, compare the monsters that come to life from the tarot cards, because I haven't mentioned that, but they do, to come and get these people, very much like the 13 Ghosts, because they're monster looking. And what else did I get? Oh, when the Fool, because the Fool does come out to try and get one, I got a very Five Nights at Freddy's vibe. So that one was interesting, made me laugh. I'd say cinematically the best monster was the last one, which was that came out to actually, perform a real, like somebody really, ended up dead, was the Magician. The vibe was very, oh wow, that was something. That was something. I think that one was probably the best, goriest part of the movie. But other than that, I know I'm flipping back from like the entertainment to tarot, but it was very hard for me because I'm a fan of both. I'm a fan of the tarot practice, and on one side, I was happy to see some kind of understanding of the tarot system, but I think it still fell short. I don't think that it really utilized them in a way that's friendly to people. People who don't know anything about it will still fear them. And I guess that's what I'm really coming here to talk about. If you don't know it's entertainment and you think that it's hoodoo voodoo that's going to end up hurting you, this will not help anybody who is trying to help other people with divination tools. And they do call them divination tool because they're supposed to be divine help, okay? And that's why we call them that. Now, being a person who doesn't do predictions, it's not that you can't do predictions, it's that I do not do prediction. I use tarot to help people move past the blocks into their power. I've always believed in that wholeheartedly because I am of the belief that even if you know something's going to happen to you, doesn't mean if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And by scaring the crap out of somebody ahead of time is just probably not going to help them anyway. You might as well live your life to the fullest and try your best at everything that you do, because you might end up losing out. I'm going to tell you something, because in the movie at one point we go back in time where this astrologer, as they call her, who pulled the cards, the one who cursed the cards, pulls cards for a guy that she's a lord or whatever his name is through the thing. They go very quickly through this movie. You don't stay anywhere too long. That much I have to say. You know, they don't diddle-doddle anywhere. They just kind of go through it. But she's pulling cards and finds out that his wife and unborn child are not going to make it. Okay? So she tells him no. And he gets very upset, and he wants her to keep pulling cards, and she keeps saying it's the same thing. Your child and wife are not going to make it, okay? This is a practice that I do not do. I don't believe in. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think it's good. But okay. So he spends his entire time just like you see, you know, like he's desperate and all that, and no matter what he does, it still happens. So this is where I stop the movie and think to myself, tarot related, how this affects people. And this is why I don't practice predictions or any kind of negative advertisements in predictions for people. Okay? I'm never going to tell you something specific like, oh, you're going to lose your husband, you're going to lose your wife, or they're going to die in this much, or they're going to have medical things, or whatever. I don't think it helps anybody. Most of the time, every time I've heard somebody tell me that a tarot reader told them, they were not able to stop anything that did happen, and they got to worry until it happened, okay? They get to have that in their brain, carrying it around with them, and what did it prove when something happened that the tarot reader was right? Who cares if somebody predicted something correctly, okay? What is the point to that? Oh, she can predict stuff. Do you think it's going to save anybody in the end? Probably not. Okay? So I don't believe in it, and I don't do it. I don't do it. This guy in the movie, he was trying the whole time while his wife was still alive with the child inside, not to maybe, you know, spend the most time he could with his lovely wife. And do what he could at the moment. He wasn't able to change the circumstances, and probably just didn't end up taking the best out of life. You know, when you spend your life worrying or upset or angered until you reach destination, what's the point? It's not helping anybody, okay? So this is why when I see that stuff, I think that people like me think, why are you scaring people? It's not helping the people like me who want to empower people. Now, if I was a predictor, I would say, oh, you know, there's going to be a death, you're going to move on, and you're going to be depressed or whatever. I could do all of this here, okay, with these 3 cards. This doesn't mean that somebody's going to die. This could be anything, right? It could be, I always tell people, it doesn't mean that you're going to die or somebody's going to die. It could mean that just something's going to dramatically shift in your life, okay? You are not the person to make that person feel like something terrible is going to happen. Anyway, so I'm going to leave that at that for this. So just the prediction part, didn't like it for tarot. Don't think it does anybody any kind of favors. I don't like, what else do I don't like? I didn't like the acting much. I didn't like the script much. I thought it didn't really hold up a lot of water. By the end, I wanted to mention, by the end of the movie, there's 4 people who end up like dying and 3 surviving, and one of them survived the attack, and they're kind of laughing it away. They've just over the course of a couple of days had 4 friends murdered, and they're still like, haha, it's funny how you did, you know. And I thought to myself, okay, well, that was just ridiculous, just a tiny bit, okay. Like I said, it's not true to life. And I think that part actually did it a favor, because it was so cheesy in some parts that I think that by being that bad of a movie, it lost a lot of credibility, which is awesome for the tarot people because we don't want anybody to have that much credibility. We don't want it to be so, believable that people think this is an actual thing, especially if you're a light worker, somebody who works in the light in empowering people. Okay, here's how we're going to help you through this. Here's how we're going to, empower you. Here's how the cards can help you. Okay, I don't always get really good cards when I read myself. Sometimes I have cards that are in my face, and I get it. I get it. I know that's the energy I carry. So, and I have to get through it. Life isn't just like a bowl of cherries, and I'm not saying to be a, always positive and cheery reader. Most of my readings that I do, especially for Pisces, is about overcoming things during the week. If I did readings just for happiness, they would get very boring very fast, and I wouldn't be helping anybody. Okay? So I go in specifically targeting difficult energies that need help, that need guidance. Okay? And that's the way I prefer to do readings. But it isn't the way that tarot is depicted many, many times. I'm hoping with time somebody takes the time to actually do an actual movie that represents this a lot better, and maybe not make it a horror movie, which would be fantastic. But I guess it's more fun to do horror movies. Now, I'm going to give just a little bit. I think the cards were exceptional. They were gory. For a horror movie, they were the goriest cards I'd ever seen. They would have given the Deviant Moon Tarot a run for its money. And I'm just going to show it to you. And a lot of people don't like this deck. And I because I'm a horror movie fan, I do. The Deviant Moon would have probably given this deck, oh yeah, this deck would have given that deck a run for its money. It's too bad they didn't get in contact with this to bring those to life. That would be cool as a horror movie. Honestly, like, look at this. Look at this. The Page of Swords, okay? Now, this would be a fun deck to put as, to create the monsters, okay? So, I know some people love this deck. I know some people hate this deck. I mean, how spooky are these people, okay? You see that coming at you in a dark hallway, you're going to be moving. You're going to be booking, okay? So, yeah, it was a little bit like that. And you're going, Jane, why do you have that deck? Because I love these decks. I love the artistic flow of all kinds of decks. And I have to admit, I do not use it very often. I would probably use it more for myself to kind of find the dark shadows in it because I'm that kind of person. But to use it for other people, other than just for, because they love the artwork, I would probably use it then. What else do I have to say about this movie? I don't know. I don't know. Do I feel like I wasted my time watching it? Maybe a little bit, maybe 50% of the time, because of just not being a very, I don't know, it's kind of predictable at some point. It's kind of, you realize that you can't, as a tarot reader, you can't really take any of it seriously. Was I disappointed? Yeah, once again, that the tarot is, being used to, do jump scares and scare people and stuff. Was I surprised by some of it? Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning, when, like I said, they started talking about tarot and divination and astrology, I thought, ooh, somebody did some homework somewhere. I was very happy about that. But it quickly turned back into, oh, well, they're just using it to, to their advantage, which is fine, okay? Everybody does it for probably not just tarot, every topic, right? If you can use it to create a masterpiece of horror, why not, right? Strange Mask, stuff like that. So, Did you watch Tarot? Did you actually watch that movie? Do you plan on watching it? Let me know in the comments. Like, I'm a very small channel right now, well, here, but I'm a bigger channel at with the Pisces. And like I said, right away, this is my opinion. My opinion about the movie, about my tarot practice and what I do, and how I think tarot should be used, and instead of, and I'm a true believer in it. So, but did I hate it? Absolutely not. Why would I hate anything? I mean, honestly, like I said, I wish, I don't know, it just left me wanting a little more. I felt like I'd seen this in different ways at different spaces. Like I said, there was a lot of, it's almost like, I don't know. It wasn't all that in a bag of chips. It was funny. My son and I watched it and snickered. We thought it was, would I stay up to watch it again, in anticipation of it playing? Probably will never watch it again. Probably will never watch it again. And, but it was okay. Good try, good effort. I'll give you D plus, maybe? No? D? Just a D. On overall score. Especially when it comes to tarot, probably lower. Because like I said, I failed to see a lot of the correlation between the actual art of tarot and the movie tarot. For all of us out here who are trying to make a difference, who try to use these as an object of light and happiness, and no curses, just, no evil boxes, no evil cards, no evil astrologer, just people trying to help other people. So you've gotten my review. This was fun to do. Let me know if you'd like me to watch something else or see something else and give you a review on it. Eventually I will just sit here and not be lazy and show you my face. But if you if you want to see my face, go to my Pisces channel. I did a live. It's right on the home page. You can see my face. I'm not hiding. This is, like I said, a second, third channel from the other channels that I have. I also have a welcome video on my life path number tarot, where you see my face very well. I explain life path number tarot, life path numbers, I should say, and how I use tarot to help you with that. And that's it. That's it. That's me. That's me today. I'm going to come back, and next week, you guys, I'm going to be doing my October-November decks, because I feel that we're moving into the season of cold, snow, no more leaves on the trees, and I have a set of decks that kind of reflect that time. So I hope that you can join me then, and I'll see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.